In 2001, Japanese singer Tomoko Kawase debuted her solo project Tommy February6. The 6 is silent, but I'm pretending it's not. A pop artist who was a comedic mix of peppy pop star and human flaws. This was a sharp departure from her prior fame as the vocalist for the rock band The Brilliant Green, but not a particularly surprising one. Let's start from the beginning. Tommy Heavenly6, the 6 is still silent but I'm still pretending it isn't, made a sudden debut during a February concert in 2003. In the middle of her set, February took off her iconic glasses and began to sing never-before-heard songs, all rock, with no real elaboration. A month later, on July 16, 2003, Tommy Heavenly6 released her first single, Wait Till I Can Dream. To understand the concept of Heavenly, you really need to understand February, which I go over in this video. These two sides seem pretty cut and dry at first. February is the pure-hearted good side of Tommy, while Heavenly is her evil dark side. Kinda like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde if you didn't read the book but listened to the Arthur song. And in fact, Heavenly was originally perceived as February's evil twin separated from birth, very creatively named Tommy February Darkside. She came up with the idea for Heavenly at the same time she made February, but thought that having two different personas right off the bat was a little too much for her first solo project, so she just went with one. Since her conception, this other side has represented one thing: contrast. At first, the contrast between February and Darkside seemed to be your standard good and evil fare, but as February got more popular, Tommy began to reevaluate her characters and what they stood for. February was human. That was her main premise, the joke if you will. This was a normal-ass girl with an alcohol addiction living as an idealized version of herself. In my opinion, that nerdy, awkward aspect of February is what makes her so special. But with the more songs she made, the more music videos she filmed, the more deals she took, February's original premise was slowly being eroded. She was being perceived as just another pop artist. This frustrated Tommy, especially since February was made specifically as a way to counteract her naturally negative disposition. She feared that February couldn't be honest anymore. She had to fit into this rigid box that everyone had put her in. And so, this desire to be herself inspired her to come back to Tommy February Darkside. But now she represented more than just being February's opposite. She represented the unabashed desire to express your true feelings. This new Tommy wore her heart on her sleeve and her glove on her left hand, and wasn't brought down by others' expectations of how she should be. This girl was pure, and Tommy decided she needed a new name to represent that. And only then was Tommy Heavenly6 truly born. Her birthday is on the midnight of Halloween. And in fact, she was intended to debut on the Halloween of 2002, but if I'm reading these interviews correctly, she kinda just forgot. So instead, her first single, Wait Till I Can Dream, released the same day as February's Love Is Forever. Their music videos share a set and seem to take place in the same time frame, with February quite literally looking into Heavenly's world in Wait Till I Can Dream. Heavenly's first song is a far cry from the music February was producing. Both the song and its music video are loud, energetic, and aggressive. It feels... is radical the right word? You don't want to show your Christian grandmother the song, that's all I'm saying. This is probably the most honest that Tommy has ever been with a song up to this point, and I think it becomes so much more powerful once you know Heavenly's story. Speaking of Heavenly's story, the new lore reason that she exists is that she spawned from a dream that February had, which I like to imagine is this music video. She got so drunk that she passed out and invented a new personality as just her but not a depressed alcoholic. I have a whole segment in my head of me obsessively analyzing Wait Till I Can Dream's music video, as I feel there are a lot of ways this video can be interpreted. Is Heavenly taking February's glasses, lifestyle, microphone, and flask an act of jealousy, obsessive admiration, or something else entirely? Is all this really happening or is it just a dream? Does it go before, after, or somehow during Love Is Forever? Why is there half a dog in Heavenly's room? I think coming up with your own interpretation for these two's relationship is good, since it tends to fluctuate pretty wildly depending on what Tommy's feeling at the time. Random side note, this song got a shout out from Doja Cat back in 2024, that's pretty cool. Now let's continue everyone's favorite thing, the Tommy outfit tier list. Wait Till I Can Dream has just one outfit for Heavenly, unless you want to count Heavenly with shorts and Heavenly with a skirt as two separate outfits. They're B tier, what do you want me to say? The B-side for this song, Swear, also had a music video, interestingly enough. I don't particularly care for Swear. I don't think it's a bad song, but I also don't think it's anything to write home about. For some reason, the music video on YouTube is super grainy. I don't know if this is a stylistic choice or if they straight up lost the master copy. C tier, the pigtails throw me off for some reason. I think I associate them with children, so I just see a really large child. The next single that Heavenly would release was Hey My Friend on May 26, 2004. You may have noticed that this is almost a full year after Wait Till I Can Dream. After her debut, Heavenly went silent for a while as February wrapped up her last album, Tommy Airline, and then their situations kinda flipped. February went on a bit of a hiatus, only releasing 2 songs, while Heavenly took center stage for a long while. This song, along with its B-side Roller Coaster Ride, was a track for the 2004 film Kamikaze Girls. You guys know what that means, right?
This guy is fucking awesome.
If you were thinking that all of Heavenly's songs were going to be loud, chaotic rock rumps, this one hits like a baseball to the nuts. Not in a bad way, I really like this song. It's just kinda surprising that Heavenly's second single is a somber, almost introspective song about missing a friend, though obviously it makes sense. Once again, Heavenly isn't bad, she's just honest with herself. It's a smart choice to enforce this idea so soon. Well, you know what I mean by soon. Because it means that it's harder for her character to be misunderstood like February's was. I somehow didn't really register how normal the outfits in these first few Heavenly music videos are. This doesn't last, but it's an interesting quirk. Which, speaking of, this is an A tier. I don't make the rules, I only make baffling decisions. The rest of them are just B's. And last thing, I want to point out the single's B-side, Roller Coaster Ride, because it's an original song that doesn't show up in the next album, only appearing in a compilation album. Honestly, I don't know why it doesn't show up in the album. It's very catchy, and if we had to stick to the current number of tracks, I would have taken this over Swear, I'm sorry Tommy. Her next single would be Ready, released on July 20th, 2005. Yet another year passed without a single. This one's awesome. Heavenly becomes a trust fund baby, and so the entire music video is just her rich person antics. She starts off in a decked out limo, then punches a hole in the window for literally no reason, and then roller skates down a hall to play Tekken with a giant jar of popcorn right next to her. It's so funny. For the longest time, I thought the plot for the second half was that Heavenly hurt her hand so bad on this couch that she had to be hospitalized. I swear she just has an IV stand that she's wheeling around. That's definitely not what this video is about, but why does she have that? This pink outfit is an S tier. I'm starting to see a bit of a trend here. Hands bare, Jammy, you sly dog. The roller skate outfit is high B tier, Tekken outfit is low B, and table outfit, I should just go back to saying this, is A. It's kinda amazing how Heavenly can just be whatever the hell she wants and it doesn't feel unnatural. Tommy really learned from what happened with February and made sure it would never happen again. Apparently this song was used as an ending theme for a show called King's Brunch from August to September of 2005. You want proof? This is over 1200 episodes and I can't find a single one online, I'm sorry. The B-side for this song is Give Me All Your Love, which was a song made a few months earlier as a contribution to a tribute album for the manga Nana, which was made by the same person who made Paradise Kiss. I'm not even gonna pretend that I'm gonna read this, you guys are safe for now. This song is awesome, dude, it's like... I didn't expect to talk about every single B-side before Heavenly's first album, but it turns out that every one of them has a somewhat interesting story. Given Heavenly's track record, you probably think that her debut album came out in 2006. But no, it actually released a month after Ready. Enter Tommy Heavenly6 the album, on August 24th, 2005. I think this is the closest Tommy's gotten to a perfect album. Every song here, with the exception of Swear I'm Sorry, is really good in their own right. I feel like these are all music video quality songs, which I can't exactly say for the past 2 albums. I wouldn't sink money into Hey Bad Boy. To Be Free and Like a Candy Daydream are stellar songs, with the latter being in my top 5 Heavenly songs. In the middle of this album is the song Gothic Pink, which you may be scratching your head at seeing that this has a music video, but no appearance in a single, even as a B-side. Yeah, I don't know, I've scoured the internet and I can't find anything specifically talking about where this thing came from. The music video shows up in her next album, but it'd be weird if it was made for that one considering, well, it's not part of the track list. Anyways, this one seems to take place in the same continuity as Ready. I take set reuse as proof of continuity, because what other metric am I going to use? Would you believe me if I said that Gothic Pink has a gothic music video? Yeah, very subversive, I know. I really like this one's aesthetic, with the pink forest and the darker design of Heavenly's room from Ready. I think it's very clever how both the Ready and Gothic Pink use a specific dining room library, and they both give off different vibes despite being practically identical. I guess Gothic Pink throws a ghost PNG in there, but it's already such a dark and empty place that it sells its vibe without needing much extra work. We once again see Tommy's cloning magic in effect. I guess this makes sense given what we know about her in February, but it makes you wonder how ethically these clones are being treated. This one drinks the Sinister potion and goes comatose. Who's to say that potion wasn't laced with lead? There's only one non-reused outfit here, which is another solid B. This is the lamest tier list the world has ever seen. After this album was another break for Heavenly, until June 7, 2006 with the release of I'm Gonna Scream. This one's another gothic song with another gothic music video. The title for Gothic Pink was stylized with crosses, since the quickest way to make something scary is to make it also religious, and so is this one, but because it was made for a commercial for a skincare product line called Free Plus. Capitalism wins again. This is the first music video in which Tommy calls the Death Trilogy, a trio of music videos that tell the story of Heavenly as the Grim Reaper. Well, okay, story is a big word. Whenever I hear about this music video, it's to say this is completely and utterly incomprehensible, and yeah. Heavenly is a ghost hunting Grim Reaper who really likes chocolate, and also an angel I think, who is apparently this Heavenly gone back in time to prevent her from dying to this night guy. These are both S tier outfits by the way, I don't care. This is the first music video to be done mostly in CGI, which will be a trend for a few music videos leading up to our next album. More importantly, it's also the first music video in widescreen. Oh my god, I can finally stop using this stupid backdrop that triples the video render time. And this whole gothic Candyland aesthetic they make is super awesome. For whatever reason, a reoccurring sight in this video is an army of Cupid dolls. Thank you everyone in the comments section of my original Tommy video for teaching me about these things. One with glasses presumably supposed to represent February. Among other things, they're a mascot for a pasta sauce brand in Japan, and Tommy apparently just has one of these as a keychain for her phone, and if you press on it, it sings a commercial jingle. There is something wrong with this girl. The B-side for the single is the song Going To My Way, where Tommy says the word speak. This is a song about fighting on in life with super raw, almost brutally honest lyrics. One line of the song is, maybe killing myself will be easier, which is even more jarring to see in a Tommy song than the butt word. The next single is Pray, releasing July 6, 2006, which serves as the first opening for the anime Gintama. Look at that episode count, they ran away before I could even ask. This music video is the second part of the Death Trilogy and is slightly more coherent than the last one. Heavenly got demoted from her Grim Reaper position after footage of her mauling an innocent snowman came to light, and was transferred to Samurai. She's still hunting ghosts, but this time they're ninjas and samurais and gay ninjas instead of PNGs. She seems to be escorting another Heavenly, that's 3 different Heavenlies. A tier and B tier, take it or leave it. In 2011, Prey got re-released, with merchandise being sold on her original site. There's a kimono, a throw pillow, and I cannot communicate in words just how bad I want this. This plush is based off the dango that Heavenly uses to seemingly seek ghosts, and I think I might have permanently missed my chance to get this, because the 3 listings for it that seem to exist on the internet were all sold before I could get to them, and I have no idea where to go from here. Hey Sony, if you're gonna do, you might as well re-release this plush, put your Crash Bandicoot money to good use. The next single is the Halloween special Lollipop Candy Bad Girl on October 11, 2006. Halloween has become pretty popular in Japan nowadays, but it took a while to get that way. Tommy, however, always loved Halloween, which makes sense considering the last 3 music videos. This song's a 10-minute Goliath, but that's because it's the same song twice. I still think it's good, but 10 whole minutes. Tommy, I have a busy life to get to. Look! To be exact, the song is 10 minutes and 31 seconds, cause Halloween! I'm not gonna mince any words. This one's music video is just plain loony. It starts with a primarily CGI scene of these adorable little pumpkin monsters, but eventually becomes almost fully practical, which is interesting. Heavenly's a cake-making witch and there are gnomes! There is a vague semblance of a plot here, I think. There's conflict, that's one part of the plot diagram. This is the worst roller coaster ever. February gets her first appearance in 2 years, and she and Heavenly are fighting over something. This conflict was orchestrated because Tommy researched the lore of Halloween, and discovered that it was about the demon world being opened for a day, and also talks a lot about a fairy world. I don't know which one of us is researching the wrong thing, and causing confusion between the 2 briefly connected worlds. So she made the music video to create confusion between her own 2 characters. The last time I covered this music video, I think I made too big of an assumption because I wanted to further a point. I do think this music video is trying to say something, but how the hell am I supposed to know what that is? I found the costumes used in this music video. It wasn't very hard, it literally says where they're from at the end. Who's gonna be the parade pleaser's wizard to my witch Tommy? S tier baby! I love witch designs, they're awesome. This one's high A too. February gets the short end of the stick, but when short end meets mid B, that's not too bad. The next single is another holiday special, I Love Xmas, on December 6th. This is like the black sheep of Tommy's singles. It's perfectly good, but I could have left it out and nobody would notice. It was apparently made as the ending theme for the Japanese drama Tuesday Drama Gold, but just finding that show is going to be an entire search of its own, so I guess you guys are lucky. Oh right, they're gone. There's a funny juxtaposition here where the lyrics are about a working woman regretting not spending Christmas with her lover, but the music video is Tommy digging around with Sony Vegas Pro. It's another Heavenly music video where February appears alongside her, and the last one where she's prevalent. I mean, she has a role, she's like Santa's helper while Heavenly is, I guess, the working woman in the lyrics. I find it interesting how Tommy kinda picks and chooses when one persona should show up in the other's music video. I think it makes sense for these videos considering she obviously isn't going to make 2 holiday songs for both characters, yet. But I feel the changing ways her 2 personas interact with each other says a lot about how she's feeling about this duality inside her. And for the tier list, B tier, and I didn't realize these 2 were different outfits, but they're both A. So that's 4 singles for this album already. Surely that's all the music videos Tommy has in her, right? Nope! Remember, the Death Trilogy is a trilogy, but so far there are only 2 songs made in its continuity. Lollipop Candy Bad Girl's music video was supposed to be the finale, but Tommy had to pivot it into something unrelated last minute. So here comes Heavy Starry Chain on February 7th, 2007. That date's gotta be purposeful, otherwise if I was in Tommy's place I would be fucking pissed. I think one look at this music video will tell you that the song was very clearly inspired by Snow White. And honestly, I love how the whole thing feels like a gothic fairy tale. Whenever I listen to this song, I always get the story of an imprisoned princess turning to black magic to save herself stuck in my head. And then I feel like dressing up as a goth Snow White, and then I remember I'm a jar of jam and they don't sell black dresses for people under a foot tall. I don't get why or how the music video ties into the Death Trilogy. It was a last minute decision, and it just boils down to Heavenly having an outfit where she holds a sight, which is pretty disappointing to me because I really enjoyed the prior story-focused music videos. Though, I do really enjoy Heavy Starry Chain's aesthetics. I really like this prop of the malfunctioning blender for some reason. Yep, I have this entire room to talk about and I point out the blender. Also, every outfit here is S tier. At first I was worried of putting them all up here, but then I remembered that this is my tier list and nobody's gonna slit my throat for putting these in S tier. They're gonna do it for every other decision I made. The B-side track for the single is Always Something New, a song that doesn't show up in anything else she released. I have no idea why considering it's a very groovy song. I didn't even realize it existed until I looked up this single on Wikipedia. You can revoke my Tommy license for that. And after 5 whole singles, the most pre-release singles that Tommy has ever had for an album, Heavy Starry wrong one. Heavy Starry Heavenly was released on March 7th, 2007. This one was aiming to hit the kawaii aesthetic, which means something along the lines of creepy but cute. I guess this was granted considering the very gothic themes of the songs leading up to it. I have used that word way too many times already, but what else do you want me to say? After this album's release, Tommy went on a big tour around Japan called the Heavy Starry Tour, where she performed songs from both this album and the previous one. Apparently, at certain points her bandmates from the Brilliant Green, Shunsaku Okuda and Ryo Matsui if you forgot, would perform alongside her. In my research, I ended up finding a lot of interviews about this album and the songs leading up to it, and it seems that with Heavy Starry Heavenly, Tommy really wanted to explore her own self with the music here. While Heavenly6 the album contained a lot of songs about yearning to break free from constraints, with tons of references to dreaming and waking up, this one is a bit more scattered, but in a way where it's Tommy reflecting on different parts of herself. There are very goofily aggressive songs like Stay Away From Me and Doormat, there are very earnest songs like Heavy Starry Chain and About You, and then there are songs like Going To My Way and Lucky Me, that are about being happy in the path you take in life, and were made as a thank you to everyone who supports her. So needless to say, very good album. I know Heavenly has her detractors, people who think that her focus on rock is nowhere near as novel as February's nostalgic Europop, and while I do think that February is overall the more appealing to me of the 2 personas, I think it's extremely important to highlight how the rawness and earnestness of Heavenly's music lets it speak Tommy's mind directly to the listener, unlike with how February's message is concealed behind a saturine and occasionally vapid shell that sometimes makes it hard to tell when she's being genuine. So with all that said, I think Heavy Starry Heavenly is the album that best details why Heavenly is so important to Tommy's overall career. Because I don't know what the hell the intention is behind I Kill My Heart. Okay, I had to get that uncalled for jab out of the way, because we have 2 more songs to talk about that don't exist for any original album. First is Unlimited Sky, released digitally on November 15, 2008. It was made for the show Mobile Suit Gundam 00, and I guess I'm gonna have to watch this by myself, huh?
That's what we've been waiting for!
It's what we wanted all along!
This song is so good, man, but I don't have an excuse to talk about it, because that is a super underwhelming music video with a B-tier outfit I never ended up watching the show. But on the other hand, we have Paper Moon, released on December 10th, 2008. You may know this as the second opening for the anime Soul Eater. I am pleased to announce that in the time between my first Tommy video and this one, I have seen the entirety of Soul Eater, and it ended up becoming one of my favorite things ever. Well, the manga, I mean. The anime decided to piss itself and explode in the last 10 episodes, while the manga went on for the next 4 years. Yes, I'm still that upset about it that I'm derailing the Tommy video for this rant. Anyways, this single is interestingly themed around the Wizard of Oz. See, with Prey, the whole swordsman thing made sense since John Gintama is a samurai, I think, but I have no idea why this is so heavily Wizard of Oz inspired. I've mentioned this before, but Heavenly has such a funny backing band in this music video. I'm not letting the Scarecrow go. Look at him trying to be all sexy while the Tin Man is getting the Toby Fox treatment. Also, I'm only now noticing just how many prop dogs Tommy uses in her music videos. I don't know if she just doesn't want to deal with animal actors, but with this, Heavy, Starry, Chain, and Lovely, there's been a fair amount of fake dogs. Actually, if we also add in the Ivo, Tommy just seems to like fake dogs. Apparently she has a stuffed dog named Simon that she likes to dress up. Okay, I got extremely sidetracked there, but yeah, Paper Moon is a very good song. I have it on my 3DS. B tier and high B tier, by the way. I know I put the I'm Gonna Scream Grim Reaper outfit in S, but I don't know, the drip just ain't here for this one. The B-side for the single is the song Ruby Shoes, which just like Always Something New doesn't show up anywhere else. Yeah, I don't know. Later on in 2009, when February released the compilation album Strawberry Cream Soda Pop Daydream, Heavenly released her own compilation album, Gothic Melting Ice Cream's Darkness. Nightmare. Doesn't really roll off the tongue as well, huh? I forgot to mention this in the last video, but the promotional material for both of these compilation albums were themed around school. We have February's School of Strawberry Cream Soda Pop Daydream, and Heavenly's School of This Is Way Too Annoying to Say. Why is February's title so smooth and then Heavenly's has a grid of sandpaper? This one doesn't have an original song dedicated to it, unlike February's. But the album is the first physical release of Unlimited Sky, so it still has its own quote-unquote exclusive song. And then only 2 months after the release of the compilation albums came Heavenly's next album, I Kill My Heart. Yeah, no pre-release singles or anything, she just dumped this one out. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really big on this album at all. I think I can get away with calling it a pretty forgettable album, but prove me wrong and get very vocal in the comments about how much you like this album, I will proudly die for your cause. From what I've gathered, it seems this album was partly rushed out due to the Brilliant Green losing one of its band members, Ryo Masui, causing the band to be unable to meet their record label's album quota, and Tommy offered to create a new Heavenly album in place of a Brilliant Green album. Despite I Kill My Heart not having any pre-release singles, the first 2 songs have music videos, 2 each for some reason. Away From Me There and Leaving You both have music videos performed by Heavenly, but then also one performed by February for some reason. It's nice to see, since at this point February was like 4 years into what was essentially a hiatus, but it's so jarring to me to see February singing a Heavenly song. I'm gonna sound crazy, but Heavenly's songs tend to be sung in a raspier voice than February's, so hearing the former singing style come out of the latter's mouth throws me off so hard. These 4 music videos have a very fun aesthetic. Heavenly and her band are performing in this graveyard set with pink tombstones and cute white pumpkins, and the band members have very purposefully androgynous outfits on that gives them a very striking look that I can't really put a name on. I think I find this album mostly interesting from a conceptual standpoint. It's very dark fairy tale-esque, as if we're looking into a children's story that went terribly wrong. Not the most groundbreaking thing to say, considering one of the songs is literally called Sad End to a Fairy Tale, talking about a prince and princess dying. And there's a lot of references to Heavenly's heart, and obviously the act of killing it, that makes me wonder what the hell happened between Heavy, Starry Heavenly and this album. But yeah, from a musical standpoint, I particularly like about 4 songs, and the rest are like, I don't hate you, I just wouldn't show up at your funeral. And trust me, I've tried really hard to like this album, but it's like a 6.5 out of 10 and a sea of 9s, it just can't compete. Now, remember the Tommy Angels? Have you ever wondered what the Heavenly equivalent would look like? Well, enter James J.J. DiBarato and James McWhite, 2 members of the band featured in I Kill My Heart. I have no idea which 2 though, who, under Tommy's guidance, formed the 2-man 80s themed boy band, the James Addiction. They didn't release a single song. The fate of the James Addiction is extremely weird. It's not like the Jameses vanish off the face of the earth, because they would be active on Twitter till 2013, and JJ would become a close partner to Tommy, helping her with writing English lyrics for her newer songs. And he still actively has a social media presence. He even did an interview with the YouTuber Hinata Konan in 2021. Yeah, she's going to show up in every single one of these. When I say for you to check out her channel, I'm telling you she has more power than I could ever hope to have. Also, apparently the 2 Jameses became members of the Brilliant Green after Ryo Masui stepped down as guitarist, so they're pretty damn important, but it just seems that the James edition was silently cancelled. Bit of a shame, though I guess we'll never know what we missed. Okay, well we have a short clip of a song they were making that makes it seem like they're going to be a very straightforward band like the Tommy Angels. But at the same time, the Angels have Oren Surukara, which is way better than the other two songs they've made, so anything could have happened. After I Kill My Heart, we reach the point in time where Tommy's contract with her record label Death Star expires, and she decides to take a break from her two solo projects. A year passed, and in 2010, both of Tommy's projects were picked up by Warner Music Japan. At the moment, only The Brilliant Green seemed to be continuing, but later in 2011, a new website for Tommy February6 was created under the Warner Music Group label, with one message: "I'll be back, coming soon."